Oh my gosh. I almost didn't make it back. I was not thinking straight today. I had a bunch of different conflicting things going on. And then I was like, you know what? I got time. I'll go a little later. And then what happens? I almost didn't make it back. That's a bummer. And as you can see by the street scene behind me, I did not get my normal spot, which is, that's just how it goes, I guess. But I did not get my spot, which is like right across the street from my house. But it's basically because I took what I got. I'm down the same block. I'm still on Pineapple Street. Closer to Vineapple, if you want to come for a delightful coffee. Or wine, or beverages. They have all that kind of thing. I think originally, with the name Vineapple, it was supposed to be more of like a wine bar kind of deal, but it's more, I think, the majority of their business is coffee. And coffee snack related items. Some sort of biscuitry. Anyhow, I'm here in the car. I've only got like 15 minutes left, which is a miracle that there's any spots left. It's live, Dinah. It's me. I'm live. I'm here. I didn't have to move the car this morning because I had a Wednesday spot. I had a Cuck Wednesday spot right around the corner. And so on those days, I don't move the car. I just sort of leave it there, and then I come back in the end and stop. I'm glad you like my shirt. I like it too. I think it's Van Heusen. They had a sale. I went to the outlet malls in New Hampshire. I digress. So anyhow, I'm in the car now. The normal sitting in the car doing nothing, except talking to you, which is something I enjoy quite a bit. Although you can tell as the days grow darker, it's harder and harder for the phone to decide which light source it should be white balancing for. Should I do this? Oh, I don't know, that kind of makes me look sickly. Not that I don't always look sickly, as a result of the fact that I don't get any sleep. You know what? Is the lodging bothering you? I don't blame you. It's kind of obnoxious. I remember one time doing improv class or improv rehearsal with Seth Morris, and I had a bad habit of eating Mentos as a nervous habit during rehearsals and during live shows. I'd just be up there going like, and Seth Morris said that I looked like a cow chewing its cud and also like a redneck. And I was like, oh, well, I'll stop doing that then. It was good advice. But he said it in a very kind Southern California way, so I wasn't offended. It was right. He was right to call me out on it. So I switched to Listerine breath strips as a way to cut the dry mouth I was getting from performing. And so whatever's in that, I've consumed tons of Listerine pocket packs to reform. These days, more like a stealth Altoid, perhaps. Whatever. It's raining, so that's also helping with my urgency of getting into the car today, despite the fact that I was almost going to be forced to do Cuck Wednesday parking, which would have been disastrous for my ego. Just I can't live that cuck life, you know what I'm saying? Most people recognize that I'm a hardcore alpha. Although I've been told recently that those terms are no longer accurate. I think I'm wrong. Because where does an alpha and a beta live in a world where everyone is doing all their different gender-bending weirdness? I don't get it. Yes, Dinah, I took the red pill, and I see what women are, finally. And I thank the Matrix for that, because that's really the whole idea behind the Matrix is to... although, does he take the blue pill? I don't recall. Maybe he does take the red pill. I guess that's the whole idea. I don't know. What was I going to say? Earlier, I had a thing I wanted to say. Hello, Rachel. Will AI take over? Wait, hold on a second. Thought of the evening in Dublin. This is Rachel, a friend and former manager of mine when I worked at Kinko's and was a terrible employee. Will AI take over our lives and destroy us? I think that's a fair question. Well, I don't know if AI is going to do it. I just think automation will remove enough jobs to force all kinds of joblessness, and then idleness, and then nuts. I often describe my time at Kinko's. Rachel just said that I was an awesome employee. I describe my time at Kinko's as an ever more intricate way of avoiding getting trained on any of the machines so that I wouldn't have to do anything other than sit at the computers. And then there was that training lady who was a nice African-American young lady who would always be like, come over here and learn this. And I'd be like, I'm not gonna, I just don't, my brain doesn't work that way. And she'd be like, fine. It was, I have a lot of stories where it sounds like I'm really proud for having avoided learning things, which is something I shouldn't be proud of. But what are you gonna do? You know, I'm having a hard time believing there's actually parking space in front of me with 15 minutes to go before 6 o'clock, and that's kind of like it's twisting my melon, man. As the Happy Mondays would say. We all, of course, remember the Happy Mondays as that band that had the weird, tall, giant man who danced weirdly in the videos, and that was his only job in the band, was to dance. And if you saw the movie 24-Hour Party People, then you wouldn't like that band at all because they come off like real dicks. Oh, do you know the guy's name? Dinah knows the guy's name. Was it Bez? Or is it Beez? How's it pronounced? B-E-Z. I would say Bez. But sometimes it's European, so sometimes it'd be like, oh, that's the Bez. Oh, and Rachel also knew it. Okay, Bez. Where is Bez now? I guess is a good question, too. But back to the question that Rachel suggested. I think, it's, as I mentioned in one of the, I think, second or third sittings when I was here with Jeff Shear, who was sitting in the car with me, we were discussing universal wage, which seems like a good idea, especially for the more apathetic among us. But that's the reason why conservatives will always be against, because they believe that you need to earn all your money and whatnot, even if it's just earned through your family. You should just be able to have it. But no one should just give it to you unless it's from your family. So the government shouldn't give you any money, but you should. If you're a rich person, your children should just be able to have it. Why not? But what are you going to do? So, AI destroying us, no. there's a figure. Nice. An action figure of that best guy. AI destruction, no. Oh, wait. Oh. A former guest of the car was just walking down the street and I tried to get her attention. I should have catcalled her. Because that's what I like to do to people in the street. Look at this guy with his kid. Nice ass, mister. Oh, he didn't like that. Oh, look at this guy. Hey, looking at your phone? Buddy? Here. I'll share with you the delicate of a car slowly approaching my own car. Trying to gauge the distance. Oh, thank you, Dinah. Thank you for reassuring me that I'm being alpha. Even if it is, I'm just catcalling people with no sexual innuendo. Although I did say that guy had a nice... But it was really just from an appreciative standpoint. He seemed fit. He was also carrying a child. Yeah, so this is a car backing up. And it's just another day in the life of moving your car around. That's close enough, pal. Okay, he got the message. I gave it to him right away. She came out and looked at the car. Now she's gauging whether or not she's close enough. She's in a good spot. We're all in a good spot. I'm thankful for the fact that she did not just keep backing up and hit my car. Because, I mean, oh, she's backing up even further. Oh no, don't hit my car, lady. I have a baseball bat in the car for this kind of thing. It seems odd. I think she's good. Oh, she finally stopped. The drama involved in the parking situations here. I don't like it, but such is life on the street. I don't think it's not quite as engaging as a police show, Life on the Street kind of thing, or a story about homeless people, but it is life on the street nonetheless. Life on the street, in a car, waiting. I wonder if Dr. Seuss would have put this in his book about, or the places you'll go. You'll spend lots of time waiting, because there's a part about waiting in all the places you'll go. So is it all the places you'll go? Well, there'll be lots of waiting in your car to avoid a ticket. This doesn't sound, I don't know if there's enough interest. Maybe back then it wasn't a deal, because we hadn't reached maximum street filth the way that we have currently that requires the alternate side parking. MSF is it's a big thing in the news. Not really. Only 4 more minutes. This is going to be a short one, mercifully. I do need to get back on the calling people and begging people to sit in the car with me, because while this is delightful for me, because it lets me chit-chat at myself, which is a delight, and read occasional things, a procedural about homeless people from the perspective of a homeless person. This is Dinah's suggestion. If do a 5-minute television show about a homeless person procedural, like, you know, would that be them being like, the vodka's gone, we need to get more vodka, who drank it, that kind of thing, like homeless cops trying to figure out who did a homeless crime, like who drank all the vodka, or who took all the heroin, or who stole the boots off the dead guy when it was supposed to be sort of an up for grabs thing. Oh, you're saying it's homeless cops. So it's a special division of the police where they give a badge to a person who has no home. So, but are they also crazy, or are they just sort of down on their luck? That's a good question. Because there's sort of a, you don't want them to be like that, like the cat lady on The Simpsons, right? Like the crazy person who talks to themselves. Or do you want it to be like a schizophrenic homeless cop? He's the best in the biz. He's also homeless. Sure, community policing, why not? I think, oh, you have a crane. Well, you got to have a good and bad cop, right? You have the uptight cop who is, you know, trained by the police and does everything by the book. And then you have the homeless cop who's always eating out of the garbage cans and actively begging for change while he's also being a cop. Like, I'm going to call it, you know, hey, do you have $1, mister? I'm going to call a cop. I am a cop. That kind of thing. I think it could be done. I think it totally could be done. Now, I go back here. I feel like I sink into the darkness. I'm not talking about emotionally. I'm talking about when I put my hands on the steering wheel, I also sink into the darkness. Frustrating. Anyway, well, thank you everyone for joining me today in the car. I'm sorry the show was so short, but as I mentioned at the beginning, I barely made it, and I was late, and then I was all, you know, I had to move my car from my Cuck Wednesday spot to my Alpha Tuesday spot, and I didn't get my favorite spot. Oh, spot. Why do you, oh, a guy going the wrong way down the street on a bike. Now, why don't the police arrest that dude? Where's a homeless cop when you need one? That's what I say. Because I would... This homeless guy is attacking me with a gun. I'm a cop. That would be great. Oh, man. I would love it. But at the same time, I feel like some people might not enjoy sort of making light of the homeless, or maybe you say we're drawing attention to the homeless. Like this guy, this Asian guy who just walked by, right, cart full of cans. See him right there? Oh, there he goes. I doubt he's homeless. I bet that's how he makes his living, collecting giant amounts of aluminum cans, which, it's a living. The Flintstones, he'd be feeding rock bottles into a hole, and there'd be like some kind of a dinosaur being like, it's a living, and then flicking out a stone nickel. But unfortunately, the Flintstones have been dead for millions of years. So we won't be seeing that again, I doubt. Oh, okay. What a day. Caveman cop and schizophrenic homeless cop. Now we may be doing, it's a whole time travel thing. I don't know if that's, I like it though. We can do it. But then there's the schizophrenic homeless cop. Does the caveman cop, is he able to speak? Like, is he just sort of like, we revive this homeless guy, or we revive this homeless guy. We revive this caveman from a block of ice, and we decided to make him a cop. He doesn't know what that is, but he seems to have just a basic general knack for justice. And to reel him in, we gave this guy with schizophrenia that we found under a bridge a badge, and they fight crime. I don't know. I think if anyone has a in at Fox, I think this pitch is going to go over huge. You totally make it happen. Oh, I walked too close to my car. A Knack for Justice. That's right. That's the name of the show. A Knack for Justice. And thank you, Carla, for helping us come up with that title. Yeah. So here I am. I'm still working on the same lozenge. That is a lozenge. That has to be a record. Normally I would have crunched it by now, like the old Tootsie Pop commercial. How many sucks does it take to get to the center of a menthol lozenge by Halls? A 1, a 2, a 3, crunch. 3. Then the commercial says the world will never know, but the answer was there all along. Okay, folks, it's 6 o'clock. I no longer have to be in the car. You are freed from the responsibility of watching this absurd broadcast, made possible by the terrible street cleaning rules of New York City. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.